are the hosts of the show, Frank Sparks and Scott Tatey.
And Scott's off running around a little bit, and he's got some interviews that he'll have coming up for us later on, later in the week here on the show. And but joining me, as he always does, it's a little late this month because he was away last month, is none other than Tom Young from First Consultants. Good morning, Tom.
Hey, Frank. How are things hanging today? It is, we got a brief relief from the humidity for a couple of days. It was just absolutely gorgeous last couple of days. But I guess the 90s are coming back this weekend. But, Frank, it's that time of year. It's,
right.
July, August. This is the time of year that we generally have 90-degree weather, high humidity, and all of that stuff. So, the pundits that want to make it look like, well, this is unusual. No, I've been around this thing for 75 years now, and I remember 103, 105. I mean, there have been times when it was much hotter than even it is right now in what's going on. But hey, folks, I'm Tom Young. I'm the financial coach here on WMBA, WBBP, WMBA. I'm here to tweak your thinking today. I want to expand the distance between your ears and try to raise you up a bit with your financial thinking. We're going to talk about crypto, since the president signed the bill last week making crypto a reserve. And now all of a sudden we have banks moving into crypto, where if you have cryptocurrency, you will be able to spend it and use it in the bank. So this is big stuff that's coming. We're going to talk about that. Then we're going to talk about some very basic stuff on how to get ahead financially. Some new software that I've got that'll just light your hair on fire because I can now absolutely mathematically prove financially, mathematically, and visually that what I'm showing you, and it will help you find the most efficient way for planning for your future. I like to start every program with a prayer. So we bow our heads and we pray for God's blessing on everything in the world. We need your help, Lord, with the wars in the Middle East and Israel and all the things that are going on that are remiss. All of the riots in America, people are lost in their thinking. We need to find a way and pray for your indulgence to help people find their way back and thinking more correctly and with more common sense. It seems like we have actually lost common sense in America. We pray for all of our family and friends that they would be prosperous, healthy, and well. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
It's funny, Frank. I've authored several books now, Family Money Farm, The CFO Project. You can get a copy of that book by going to cfo-project.com. It is a new site. We've redone the whole thing, and there is new benefits and new things on there. The second book is Financial Mastery Coaching, The Blueprint. And it really lays out the 4 rules that I have developed for financial success. The financial world has their 4 rules. I want all your money, more ongoing, keep it forever, and give back as little as possible. And if you don't think that's real, think of the way that we are advised to save money for our retirement. What is the number one thing that's going on? Well, if you have a job and work, there's probably a 401k there. Even if you're self-employed, you might have an IRA or a SEP plan, which is a simplified employee pension plan for small companies. But all of these plans do one thing. They allow you to put money away before tax. Oh, and you think, boy, I'm going to save the tax, and look at all the money and the tax I'm going to save by avoiding paying that tax today. Well, historically, folks, when was the last time that taxes were lower than they are now? I mean, over the past, taxes in the future are always higher. Right now, the revenue of the federal government is over $5 trillion. And with President Trump's tariffs and everything going on, isn't it interesting that last month, in the month of June, there was actually a $24 billion surplus in 1 month. It has been several years since there was any kind of surplus. So the revenue is working. The crash everybody predicted isn't happening. It didn't happen. The economy is still moving forward. So I don't know. The facts are the facts. And if you have, Trump derangement syndrome. I'll pray for you, and hopefully you get over it, because really the purpose is to grow America, to make opportunity for our kids and our grandkids and our great-grandkids. Because with $37 trillion of debt in America right now, and it's funny because if you go to usdebtclock.org, and I have followed that for a long time, and about a year ago they took one of the elements off of there. You know what it was, Frank? It was the unfunded liability. It was the net present value of the future payments for Medicare, Social Security, and all the pension and benefits for all the government employees in the military. Mm-hmm. And that number, the last time it was on there, was $223 trillion. That's how much money is going to be needed to pay that. That's on top of the $37 trillion of debt that's out there right now. Now, we got to step back and look at the 4 rules that I teach people. Number one, you have to save enough money. There's 4 rules. How much money do I have to save between now and retirement so that I'll have enough money when I get there that will last me throughout my life expectancy with adjustments for inflation? So between now and then, how much interest do I have to earn on that money in order to get there and have enough money to last me throughout my life expectancy with adjustments for inflation? Well, when is my retirement date? Do I have a date that I've set a goal to get to? And the other question is, when you get to that date that you set for yourself, depending on how well you've done saving money, how big of a lifestyle reduction are you willing to take in order that you will be able to retire and have enough money to last throughout your lifetime? Those are the 4 questions that everybody wants answered. Folks, I can answer those 4 questions in about 20 minutes in my office.
I saw somewhere, it was an article I was reading about a week ago that said that with the cost of living today, average retirement at retirement age, you should have around $600,000 built up into a 401k or a Roth IRA or something of that magnitude.
You know, Frank, that is a good number. And let's talk about the reality of retirement planning, because I don't, maybe if you're 25, you're not really into retirement planning.
Right.
But somewhere along the way in your life, you're going to realize that everything you do is about your future lifestyle.
Right.
And whether it's lifestyle before you retire or lifestyle after you retire, it's all about your future lifestyle. We go through a war in our mind that's 6 inches between our ears because our current lifestyle fights for the future lifestyle, or fights against it, I should say, because we become a want it now society. With computers and push a button, I want it right now. And so people have lost sight of saving for retirement. If I put my financial planning hat on with all the initials after my name, I've taken all the courses offered at the American College plus more. I have like 5 or 6 sets of initials behind my name. So I've been in education for 49 years since I started in the financial business. But what I see is if you set goals, in other words, if you sit down with a typical financial planner, okay, typical guy, going to sit there and say, well, okay, when do you want to retire? Assumption number 1. Well, how much do you need income-wise when you get there? Assumption number 2, okay, well, we're going to take today's income, we're going to use the historic inflation dictated by the government, and we're going to take your income today and project it into the future. Now, wait a minute. Can I ask a question here? Is the income you're making today your ideal income? Are you making the money today that you really want to make? Because if you're not, you're making a projection into the future for a disaster, because it's going to be a disaster to get there, and it's not going to be what you really want. So you get the idea behind planning. It is nothing more than a bunch of assumptions. And I can't say on the radio station what the word assume means, and I'm sure many of you already know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
So I have a totally diametrically opposed philosophy to retirement planning, and I call what I do efficiency planning. Now, what do I mean by that? When I get to retirement, whatever that is, now I'm 75, I'm retired. I'm retired into what I love to do.
I'll say you're never going to retire.
What retire word, Does that mean I get tired all over again, Frank?
Right.
Retire?
Right.
And so I look at that differently. But I want to have, if I'm 40 today or whatever I'm doing, I want to have the most I can have when I get there. Does that make sense?
Yep, absolutely.
I mean, if I set a goal today for X and I get there, I didn't hit my goal, so it's less than my goal was. And when I get there, well, the goal wasn't big enough.
Right.
So all of those assumptions, in 49 years, I have yet to meet someone that did that kind of planning and achieved it. It doesn't happen. So people are led down the road. Now that takes me back to why is all of that type of planning there? Because that planning is based on you giving them all your money, more ongoing. They get to keep it forever and give back as little as possible. Now, what do you mean give back as little as possible? Well, when you get to retirement, are you going to take big lump sums out of your retirement, or are you going to take it out in dribs and drabs called income? So they still get to hold on to your money in perpetuity. And then when you die, then it goes to your heirs. And what are they going to do with it? Now, I would believe that most people are going to blow it. But there are a few people that would try to turn it into something for their own retirement and what's going on. So it's important to understand efficiency planning is the only way to get at retirement with the most you can have. Now, what do I mean by efficiency planning? Efficiency planning is looking at everything I'm doing today. If I'm putting money in a 401k and if I'm getting a match, okay, fine. But I meet people that are putting in the maximum they can put into their 401k. Now, what does that mean? You're taking money out of your lifestyle today. You're throwing it as far as you can into the future with very little access to it without severe penalties and taxes. And until you're 59 and a half years old is what the law says. And that could change even more in what they're doing. So along the way, how do you make a major capital purchase, Frank? Don't you have to go to the bank and borrow money?
Yep.
So now you're borrowing money at the bank and you're paying them interest. And I will have, once in a while, I'll have something, well, I don't borrow money, I pay cash. Folks, you finance everything you buy. You either pay somebody else interest to use their money, or you give up the interest you could have earned on your money by paying cash. And the trick there is in my book, the CFO Project, Family Money Farm, the CFO Project, and the Financial Mastery Coaching, the Blueprint book. I talk about the responsibility of being the CFO at home, the Chief Financial Officer of your household. And that would involve ultimately becoming a board of directors that would include your family as your children become adults. They would become part of that board of directors because now we're going to look at the family money farm and all of that money staying inside the family. So if I pay cash for something, and I don't borrow at the banks, but what I do is I set up an amortization schedule. You know what that is? That's a payment schedule. Yep. And I pay me back every dollar that I spent plus the interest I would have lost if I didn't. Remember I said it's about efficiency planning. I want to have the most I can have when I get to retirement, whatever that date is. I have no clue when it's going to be today. I don't know what the world's going to be like. I don't know what taxation's going to be like. So, but I want to have that choice when I get there and know that I'm going to have the maximum that I can have when I get there. And I think we got breaks, Frank, to do, so I'm good.
A couple more minutes if you want to go a couple more minutes. Yeah.
So when I'm talking about this efficiency, here's an example in the Family Money Farm book. There's 4 stories in there about clients. One of them, they're blue collar, gray collar, white collar, and 2 PhDs, which are 2 doctors. And they've been clients for 20 plus years. Their son just entered the second year of college. Now, when I met them, they were new doctors, husband and wife. They're both physicians, moved into the valley. They bought a house, put a big down payment down. Then they turned around and got a home equity loan because they realized they want to remodel. So they had a mortgage and a home equity loan. They both had cars and with loans on cars, had $180,000 of student loans, cool loans from their schooling. And they had 3 or 4 credit cards, all had balances. So that was their beginning picture when I met them.
Gotcha.
So we reused the house. We took advantage of the low interest rates on mortgages. We refinanced the house, took equity back out of the house, and used that as a snowball to start eliminating the debt. So here we are today, 22 years later, we're funding $60,000 a year for their college for the son. The daughter starts next year. They have 2 kids. And so here we are. How are we doing this? Well, we created a credit line with an insurance company through my life insurance. So they are both insured for economic human life value. You know, if you have your house insured for fire insurance, Frank, how much fire insurance do you have? Enough to replace your house.
Absolutely.
Well, you're the goose laying the golden eggs. You're the person that makes the bread in the house. You lay the golden egg. So do you want to insure the goose or do you want to insure the eggs? I'd want to insure both of them.
Well, right.
Okay. But the more important one would be the goose that lays the egg. So when I look at somebody, life insurance, and I tell everybody, you need to have life insurance equal to economic human life value. What would replace you is a money-making machine. And I find that most people have no clue what that is. But that's the important thing. So they're both insured for about $3 million each. Today, there's no debt. They have a mortgage still, but no other debt. I have about $1 million of cash value in permanent whole life insurance, all tax-free and all covered from the government, no access. And they have about $1 million of investments. So here we are. So we're going to the insurance company and we're borrowing $60,000 using their life insurance cash value as leverage. In other words, we've created a line of credit with the insurance company using their life insurance policies as collateral. So they're going to pay the insurance company interest every year. So that's their out-of-pocket cost for the college expense. Son's going to graduate college. He's going to pay mom and dad back. Now, if he didn't do it this way, he would have borrowed at the bank, would have borrowed from the government or whatever going on, and he would still owe that money. Agreed? Sure. So paying it back to mom and dad puts the money back in play because he's going to get married and he's going to need to buy a car. Well, if he needs to buy a car, where do you think you ought to borrow the money, Frank? From mom and dad, from the family money farm bank?
Right.
Okay, the banking system. So it's just a concept. And the interest that he pays all goes back and everything stays inside the family. Now, this isn't new. I didn't create this. It's called the Rockefeller method. If you understand the Rockefellers, those folks are worth a couple of $1 billion today, but that was their plan in the very beginning. They bought life insurance on all the family members, and that created the wealth and the cash, and they still do that even today. And what's going on. So what's the incentive for the son to pay the loans back on the college? So he can use the money again, he can borrow again. But mom and dad, let's say, are going to live to age 85. He'll be 52, his sister will be 50. And the death benefit on those policies, if we don't add any more between now and then, will be over $6 million each.
Wow.
Now, just paying school loans back and creating $6 million in tax-free wealth in their early 50s. Do you think that would be a good retirement plan, Frank?
Absolutely.
So it's just, and this is not taught to anybody. Now, I see it's 8:30, so we got to go to news, take a break. But we're going to come back. We're going to talk about crypto, and I'm going to talk more about this efficiency planning that I use and what I teach people.
All right, we'll be back with more right after this. Growth starts with community, and Clearview Federal Credit Union is thrilled to continue growing with you. We're now proud to serve Beaver County with 5 convenient financial centers throughout the area. Clearview is here to help you build a stronger financial future with personalized solutions and a passion for supporting our communities every step of the way. Learn more about how you can support your goals at clearviewfcu.org/new-few. Clearview, clearly different.
Looking for an elevated dining experience with a lively bar atmosphere? Then Jackson's Restaurant and Bar in Monaca is your destination. Join Jackson's for Thursday Night Live, featuring top-notch local music. Jackson serves modern American cuisine with a fresh flair, perfect for lunch, dinner, and now Sunday brunch from 2 to 6, with entrees like grilled salmon, grilled sirloin, and bacon-wrapped pork tenderloin. Located near the Beaver Valley Mall, adjacent to the Hilton Garden Inn, Jackson's event space is the perfect venue for weddings, bridal showers, or anniversaries. Visit jacksonsbeavercounty.com for details.
There is nothing like family, and what better way to celebrate than joining our family here at Moon Township Ford during the summer sales event. With rates as low as 0% or a rebate of $7,500, now is the perfect time to make a move on one of the remaining 2024 F-150s because the deals are scorching hot. Thinking about heading to the beach or into the mountains on vacation? Well, what better way to do that than a new Ford Bronco? Summer sales event makes it so easy with leases starting as low as $499 per month. It doesn't matter which road you travel, we have something to get you there. Come check out what our family has to offer here at Moon Township Ford. You can also check us out online at moontownshipford.net or come to our dealership on University Boulevard in Moon Township.
Delconi's Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends.
Have you ever wanted to work in radio? Well, now is your chance. St. Barnabas Broadcasting is a network of 11 radio stations, and we are looking for account executives to introduce St. Barnabas Broadcasting and digital media to new prospective clients and grow existing ones. Experience in sales is preferred. Interested prospective candidates can apply by sending their resume to fsparks@beavercountyradio.com or by calling 724-444-JOBS.
Put freedom in your future. Freedom United Federal Credit Union in Rochester. Beaver County Radio's news source. 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and beavercountyradio.com. Here's Noah Haswell.
Good morning on this Wednesday, July 23rd of 2025. We will have a complete Beaver County radio weather forecast after we take this look at news. Ozzy Osbourne, the lead singer of the rock band Black Sabbath, died on Tuesday at the age of 76. Osbourne passed away not too long after his final show. The family of Osbourne revealed that in 2020, Osbourne had Parkinson's disease after suffering a fall. Osbourne was the epitome of heavy metal, known for his growling voice. Even though some of his craziness was shown in his imagery, Osbourne was seen as the gentle dad of the reality TV show The Osbournes. According to a release from Essential Utilities Incorporated, the company announced Tuesday that its Aqua, Pennsylvania subsidiary finalized a $37.75 million purchase of the City of Beaver Falls wastewater system. Around 3,200 members in the City of Beaver Falls are served by this water system. Treatment service and bulk transmission for about 3,800 equivalent dwelling units will be in Big Beaver Borough, East Vale Borough, North Swickley Township, Patterson Township, Patterson Heights Borough, White Township, and West Mayfield Borough. According to a release from the Pennsylvania State Police, their Bureau of Criminal Investigation is asking healthcare agencies and providers in the state to review their employment records. This is because they are currently investigating activities that were fraudulent by Shannon Nicole Womack, who is now in custody for allegedly pretending to be a nurse at 9 Pennsylvania healthcare facilities. According to investigators, Womack allegedly used at least 10 aliases in various parts of Pennsylvania. These names can be found on our website at beavercountyradio.com. If one of those names match records of employment at a facility of a provider in Pennsylvania, call 724-223-5200. Pennsylvania State Police in Beaver report that a man from Austintown, Ohio, was arrested for driving under the influence of alcohol in Big Beaver Borough on Tuesday. 51-year-old Victor Munns was found by police behind the wheel of his vehicle, passed out on the 1 block of Arthur Street. According to police, Munns was arrested for driving under the influence, and his charges are pending. Pennsylvania State Police in Beaver also report that a man from Aliquippa was arrested for driving under the influence of alcohol in Aliquippa on Sunday. 63-year-old Kevin Kimbrough was stopped by police during a traffic stop on the 1500 block of Kennedy Boulevard. According to police, Kimbrough was arrested for driving under the influence, and his charges are pending. According to a release from Sheetz is teaming up with Liquid Death for a first-of-its-kind experience involving chainsaws that is happening in a select Pittsburgh Sheetz location for one day only. This deal will happen from 2 to 5 p.m. there on Friday, July 25th. If you order a made-to-order sandwich and a 19.2-ounce mountain water, sparkling water, or iced tea from Liquid Death that day there, Your sandwich will be sliced with an actual chainsaw. Influencer Chainsaw Jenna will be on site cutting these sandwiches with a chainsaw. The U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee has barred transgender women from competing in women's sports. The committee is citing an executive order from President Donald Trump. The order, signed in February, threatens to cut funding for organizations allowing transgender athletes in women's sports. The policy is listed under the USOPC Athlete Safety Policy and follows a similar move by the NCAA earlier this year. National governing bodies for various sports like swimming and track and field are expected to comply with the directive.
Here's the Beaver County forecast.
Sunny and a little on the warm side today. We'll see highs near 88. Mostly clear tonight. We'll drop down to a low around 69. Sunny, hot, and humid again tomorrow with a slight chance of showers through the overnight. Look for highs near 91 and lows around 74. And partly cloudy on Friday with a chance of showers and thunderstorms. We'll see highs near 88 and lows around 71. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
That's a look at the news for now. I'm Noah Haswell on 99.3 FM, AM 1230 WBVP, 95.7 FM, and 1460 AM WMBA, also streaming live around the world at beavercountyradio.com.
9:38 in Beaver County, and we're currently sitting at 71 degrees. Frank Sparks, it's the Beaver County Radio Morning Show. Tom Young in for his monthly visit here for the month of July. And Tom, let's just pick up where we left off.
We were talking about efficient planning.
Okay.
It is my concept and my approach to what I do. It is unique in its own. And I have 4 rules to efficiency planning. Number one, your number one goal is to get to saving 20% of your gross annual income. And I have very few people that I find that are even close to that when I meet them, but the goal is to get to 20% of your gross annual income. Second one is you want to accumulate accessible capital. Money you can get your hands on without asking the government or going and filling out an application at the bank. You have access to this money without interference from anybody, equal to 50% of your household income. So think with me for a minute. If you make $150,000 a year, household, husband and wife both working, because 80% of the households, both husband and wife work.
Right.
So you got $150,000 of income. You need to have a goal to get to $75,000 of capital that you can access and get your hands on. Now, what does that mean, Frank? Would you ever need to carry a credit card balance beyond 30 days?
No.
If you needed to buy a car, a reasonable price car, and I don't believe in buying new cars. I've never owned a new car. I buy cars that are 1 to 3 years old. And unfortunately, right now, the 1 to 3 year old cars are as much as we used to play not too long ago for new cars in what's going on. But I bought these cars 1 to 3 years old, and I can buy a certified General Motors car or a Ford with certification, and I end up with a better warranty than if I bought a brand new car. I mean, that's the fact. Now, why would I buy it's an ego thing, Frank. I've been thinking about that lately. I think about, well, what if I won the lottery or come into a lot of money? What would I do? What would I go buy? I'd go buy this big fancy car. Well, what would that do? That would be me trying to impress somebody else, and that isn't what the Lord would want me to do. It's not about impressing other people. Many times the psychology of our lives, if I do something, I do a lot of things, I buy things to impress other people that don't care. Right. It's really the point of it. I spend money to buy things that I shouldn't buy, I don't need to buy, and in my mind, I buy them because how will people see me if I'm driving down the road in this car? And we got to get over that, because all that matters is the you that you become over your lifetime. It isn't what I do for a living to earn my income. It's the person I become. And that becomes so important, even more so today, because all you got to do is look at the news every day and you see that's a big problem, Frank, because people are not becoming all they can be. They are worried about handouts and what can I get from the government and me. And that becomes the downfall. So 20% of your income, 50% of your household income in cash. And the next one is no consumer debt. No consumer debt. I'll say that again, no consumer debt. Now, what is consumer debt? That means I bought something and I couldn't pay for it out of 30 days of income. So I had to carry the balance forward. Now, what does that mean? That means I have bought something and committed income to pay for it that I have yet to earn. I hope that makes it clear enough for you. In other words, when I have something I bought, I can't pay for it out of 30 days income. I have to carry the balance forward. And if I'm doing that with a credit card, the average credit card interest today is 20.4%. The old 18% went away this last time when the Federal Reserve started raising interest rates. It's now 20.4. So now I'm looking at that, and if I buy something and I have to pay it forward, now here's a real challenge, and I do this challenge with myself. If I buy something for several $1,000s, and typically I would have put it on a credit card, but I was able to write a check and I paid cash for it. So I may write a 90-day note for myself and pay me at 18 or 20% interest for that period of time. Remember, the name of the game is to have the most I can have when I get to that future date, whenever it is, because I don't know what it is till I get there. Maybe my health will go bad, and it'll be sooner than I want it to be. That would kill my goal planning if I was doing it in the typical way. The only way to get there with success is with efficiency planning, to have the most I can have when I get there. The fourth rule is understanding and accepting the responsibility of the CFO project. Now, the CFO project is kind of unique. Chief Financial Officer, that's who you are of your household. If you're married, you have a co-partner, so you're CFO together of your household finances. I find a lot of times that one of the spouses are good with money or fairly good with money, and the other one kind of likes to spend it.
Isn't that the truth?
And so somehow that has to come to a reckoning and so that it works out. If they're really on the same page and want the goal. In other words, you got to have that desire to get where you want to go and want to be someday, because you're going to have to pay for college education. Are you saving enough money that you can do the plan that I explained earlier with my clients that had the money to leverage and create a cash reserve, to create a credit line using their life insurance with the insurance company? I mean, it's the safest way to borrow. The insurance company is not at risk because they have your cash and your death benefit as collateral, so they gladly loan you money on a signature. They don't ask you anything about what I'm going to do with the money, what are you going to spend it on, blah, blah, blah. There ain't none of that. I don't like sharing that information. And I've made loans at the bank. You have, Frank, I'm sure. How do you feel when you go to the bank and you got to fill out all that personal financial information, tell them what you want the money for, what you're going to do with it, how you're going to pay it back, and blah, blah. Bull.
All right.
Pucky. I stopped that a long, long time ago. And I know people would want to do that. We're going to take a break. You said we could need a break. We're going to take a minute break. We're going to come back, and we're going to wrap it up, and I'll talk about crypto, the opportunity that nobody sees yet.
All right. More coming up after this.
Scrap, scrap, scrap. They call him the scrapper. Scrap, scrap, scrap.
Hey, this is Donnie Iris, the original rapper. But you gotta check out the original Scrapper at Scrappy Joe's.
Thanks, Donnie. This is Joe the Chili, a.k.a. Scrappy Joe. And I want to invite you to take a scenic ride to historic Oil City, Pennsylvania to visit Scrappy Joe's and the Consignment Family Network. We are one of the largest co-ops in northwestern Pennsylvania. We have over 70 consignment vendor booths on display with over 1 million products to choose from, like antiques, antiques, collectibles, arts and crafts, and much more. Stop by and say hello to my partner Sue Downing and I. That's Scrappy Joe's at 4149 Route 257, Oil City, Pennsylvania. Everybody goes to Scrappy Joe's. See us on Facebook and Google.
Run or walk for free care and help those in need. Join St. Barnabas Charities Saturday, August 2nd at Gibsonia for the free care 5K run walk. Enjoy a fun post-race party with music and food, cash prizes for top male and female finishers, and medals for all ages. Plus, a runner's bag and t-shirt. This event benefits the St. Barnabas Free Care Fund. Special thanks to presenting sponsors CIBC, a leading North American bank. Register today by calling 724-625-3770 or online at freecare5k.com.
Have you ever wanted to work in radio? Well, now's your chance. St. Barnabas Broadcasting is a network of 11 radio stations, and we're looking for account executives to help introduce St. Barnabas Broadcasting and digital media to new prospective clients and help grow existing ones. Experience in sales is preferred. Interested candidates can send their resume to fsparks@beavercountyradio.com or by calling 724-444-JOBS.
We have Art Cornell here from the Beaver Cemetery Mausoleum. Art, I see the heritage area is now available. What is that?
These are sections that are part of the original cemetery design of more than 150 years ago and are known as the old sections. Currently, we have 65 additional cemetery plots we have reconfigured and named the Heritage Section in the area that most people see when traveling on 3rd Street.
Thanks, Art. Beaver Cemetery Mausoleum, serving all of Beaver County since 1865, located on Buffalo Street in Beaver.
Snack wraps are back at your local McDonald's. A tortilla filled with white meat chicken, lettuce, and cheese with your choice of ranch or spicy sauce. Available a la carte or in a 2-snack wrap combo meal. Only at McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Patriot Home Care is now hiring caregivers. Are you a caring and compassionate individual looking for a reliable income with benefits? Then call Patriot Home Care today. Benefits include health insurance, life insurance, paid vacation after 1 year, and 1.5 times hourly pay for overtime plus holiday hours. Patriot Home Care employees provide personal care, conversation and companionship, medication reminders, light housekeeping and laundry, meal preparation, and errands. Start your career in home care today and call Patriot Home Care at 724-506-8911 or apply online at patriothomecare.org.
Beaver County Radio and Fry Transportation are on the move, and they're coming your way with the best Beaver County has to offer. You're listening to Beaver County Radio, proudly presented by Fry Transportation.
Here's the Beaver County forecast.
Sunny and a little on the warm side today. We'll see highs near 88. Mostly clear tonight. We'll drop down to a low around 69. Sunny, hot, and humid again tomorrow with a slight chance of showers through the overnight. Look for highs near 91 and lows around 74. And partly cloudy on Friday with a chance of showers and thunderstorms. We'll see highs near 88 and lows around 71. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
Currently at 9:50, right on the nose here in Beaver County on your Wednesday morning, July the 23rd of 2025. It is 74 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Visiting this morning with Tom Young from First Consultants, making his monthly visit. Usually he's here the second Tuesday of each and every month, or the third Tuesday. What am I thinking? Second. Third Tuesday of each and every month, but this month he was out of town, so we have a special day today for Tom to hang out.
Hey, it is great to be here. I enjoy doing this. I want to turn the page here, and you know, there are times where I wish I would have bought Walmart when it first started.
Oh, yeah.
That stock.
Oh, yeah.
I wish I'd have bought Amazon when it first started. How about Microsoft, Frank?
Ooh.
When Microsoft first started.
Be rich now.
And where would we be today?
Yeah.
I believe that's where we are. There is an opportunity on the table, and it is complex. It is not easy to understand this cryptocurrency. You know, the Bitcoin has been around for a dozen or more years now, and it hit 122,000 per coin. It's right now, I think it was 119,000 yesterday. There's Ethereum, which is probably the second one. Ethereum is unique. It is not an individual coin. It's a stable coin, as they refer to it as. And I'm just giving my thoughts and opinion. I'm by no means an expert in crypto. but I have purchased some recently. There's XRP, which it was $2 and something, $2.30 a coin. I bought a bunch of it, and it's at $3.50 or $3.40 a coin now, and that's just in the last 10 days. Now, what happened in the last 10 days? The president signed the cryptocurrency bill out of Congress, making it a stable coin, making it a reserve in America. And already, yesterday and the day before, J.P. Morgan and some of the biggest banks in the country are now getting ready to use these coins as payment. So if you have crypto coins, you're going to be able to pay for things with crypto. Now, that has already been going on. You mentioned something earlier, Frank, that there are already crypto machines in Beaver Valley. I know there's one in New Brighton where you can go purchase or pay for something with Bitcoin or whatever you own. Now, there's also a scam involved. There's a lot of things going on where if you're being approached or you're being told to pay for something, well, you have to pay for it with Bitcoin. Run fast, because those are scams at the present time. Those are people that are, well, you got to go to this machine and you put money in and you buy Bitcoin, and that's what you said to me. That is not kosher. That is not something you need to be doing. You want to stay away from that. But I would recommend that you do some research, and if you go on YouTube and put in XRP or ETH, and do some research. Listen to what some of the people are saying, the people that are professionals, and what they're saying about it. But you got to understand. Now, how would I buy that coin? I use an account with Kraken, Kraken. They're a firm out of Wyoming. They're one of the largest, and I have a crypto account. I have coins that I have purchased through there. And their fees are pennies. I mean, there's almost no fees to buy these coins to do that. Like if you do buy stocks and bonds in the brokerage business, you're going to pay upwards of maybe as much as 2 or 3% in annual fees in order to do that. So it's easier to do, and there aren't any big fees involved. And there isn't any large amounts that you have to buy because you buy fractional coins, et cetera, in the way it's set up. But, you can put in $500, $1,000 or whatever and buy some of this. The XRP, just in the last 10 days, went up 41%.
Now, do you get that on something you do online, or you go to a financial
I do it
advisor?
online. No,
okay,
I do it online.
Okay.
I went to Kraken and I signed up and walked through. I had to send a copy of my driver. It is very, very encrypted and safe because you have to provide a lot of documentation of who you are.
Okay.
And then to get into the account, it has face recognition.
Right.
So when I go into that account, face recognition.
So Kraken's where you went to?
So it is very secure.
Okay.
The other thing about the cryptocurrencies, the SWIFT system, if you ever heard of that, the SWIFT system is our current banking system.
Right.
It is a system built on debt. The value of our money is based on the debt. That's what it is. I believe under NESARA, N-E-S-A-R-A, National Economic Security and Reformation Act. It is actually being implemented incrementally right now. If you read that document, and I have a copy of it, if you would like a copy of that document, send me an email at firedupt@comcast.net. That's firedupt@comcast.net, and I'll gladly send you a copy of this document. Again, I'm not giving advice. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a CPA. I'm just sharing with you my own experiences and my own opinion to what's going on with this stuff. But these coins are being predicted as the banks. Again, very simply, you have a limited number of coins. When they issue these coins, there's a set number, okay? And just like Bitcoin, there was a set number. And the more demand on the coins, it becomes an auction just like stocks. Why do stocks go up in price, Frank? Because more people want to buy them. Well, as banks move into this cryptocurrency standard, and it's going to happen, it's already starting to happen, the demand for the coin is going to go up. What is that going to do to the value of the coins? Why did Bitcoin get to $119,000 per coin? So they're predicting, and some of the people that I follow are saying, for example, the XRP right now is at $3.40. That's where it's been bouncing around. 10 days ago, it was $2.31 when I was buying it. They're saying it's going to go anywhere from $15 to $30 a coin, just in the next 6 months or so. So if you think about that, I just believe there is an opportunity here that we haven't seen in a long, long time for the everyday you and I put a few bucks, a few $1,000s and that into this opportunity. And again, I'm just sharing my experience. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm just sharing with you how I did it myself to get involved.
I think a lot of people have questions about it, so that's good that you shared that.
It is. I mean, I questioned it for a long time, so this is just in the last few months that I've actually got involved. I've been listening for a long, long time, and I go on YouTube and I listen to a lot of different people and their discussion of this stuff. You got to get informed. You got to get educated on how this is going on. Anyway, we're coming to an end today, and I want to share with you, I'm Tom Young. I own a business called First Consultants in Beaver. We are a national firm. I have clients currently in 38 states across the country. So wherever you're at in the USA, I can help you. We do Zoom meetings, and again, I'm licensed in 38 states, and I'm hoping someday to say I'm licensed in all 50 states. So that's my goal in my business and doing that. Give yourselves an opportunity. If you live locally in Beaver Valley, call and make an appointment. I'll make you 2 promises. I'm not going to ask you to buy anything, and there won't be a second appointment unless you want it. But I believe I can change your financial future dramatically. I can show you where you're losing money unknowingly and unnecessarily, show you how to get it back and turn it into favorable, tax-favored retirement income or maybe even tax-free. So you can reach me at 724-728-6820. I'm at 1413 3rd Street in Beaver. You want to get my book, go to cfo-project.com. Put in your name and email address. I'm not going to bomb you with emails. I'm not going to sell your email. It's an opportunity for me to share my book. It's an electronic book, cover to cover. And then there's a second book that you get with it, which is the Financial Mastery Coaching, the Blueprint, which has worksheets and actual budgeting tools that will help you get control of your financial situation. And I see 9:59, Frank. I think I'm about out of time.
Yeah.
God bless you all. We'll see you here 3rd Tuesday of next month.
Not the 2nd, the 3rd. All right, Tom. All right, coming up next is Live Mike with Mike Romai. So stay tuned for that this morning here on Beaver County Radio.
Hey, it's Charlie and Debbie, along with NASCAR